that point, proving once and for all that crocodiles don't get senile with old age, but only grow more massive and powerful. Furthermore, Brutus is one hell of a specimen, weighing at least 2 tons and having no worries at all. He's proven himself able to take on any attacker, meaning he really doesn't have to do much other than sun himself and find whatever animal happens to be around him whenever he gets hungry. He lives along Australia's Adelaide River, which is a tourist hotspot, with Brutus being the main event hands down. Tour guides have known about him for quite some time now, and vacationers have flown in from all over the world just to catch a glimpse of the absolute beast of a croc in action. Back in 2011, he similarly made headlines by leaping clear out of the water to snatch up a kangaroo while onlookers were absolutely stunned. Just imagine watching 2 tons of ferocious croc leap out of the water in one clean motion. That would be enough to surprise just about anyone, and we're sure that Roo had no clue what was going down, even as Brutus landed the killing blow. It's also worth noting that Brutus has been pulling off these miraculous feats while missing his right forearm. Nobody knows how he lost it, but guides claim that it was probably taken during a previous fight with a shark. This leads us to assume that he must wrangle with sharks on a more regular basis than we would have ever thought possible, blowing our expectations of what crocs are capable of out of the water. We all knew that they were vicious enough when they wanted to be, but Brutus seems to be on an entirely new level. Adelaide River Cruises tours go right through his territory, with countless locals and tourists catching sight of this beast. He's quite used to people and has never attacked the boats, with guides using fresh meat to get him to jump out of the water much like we'd expect from a seal or dolphin trainer. The man who took the awe-inspiring shot was one Andrew Pace of Sydney, who was vacationing with his family at the time, snapping the picture at the end of the cruise after he noticed the shark in Brutus's jaws. Number 4. Bujang Senang. This was the name given to a terrifying killer crocodile who was known to attack people, with at least a few confirmed kills under its belt. It lived in Borneo, and many locals believed that it had hunted people for over 30 years with impunity before it was finally hunted down and killed. Legends say that the crocodile was actually a man who was cursed to spend his life as a crocodile, growing hateful and full of resentment of other humans. Bujang Senang had a very distinctive white marking on its back, resembling a solid stripe that extended from just behind its front legs to halfway down its tail. This marking alone was enough to convince locals of the croc's legendary power, with everyone fearing it equally. The stories also say that his descendants will carry on the legend and seek justice for the killing, which we have to hope is merely superstition. It would definitely be worrying to assume that Malaysia is now littered with killer crocs intent on taking people out as retribution. Locals decided to kill the deadly crocodile when it attacked and killed a local girl, one Dayang Bayang. This prompted a massive search, with teams eventually finding the beast and identifying it by its enormous size and distinctive white stripe. While estimates had put Bujang Senang's length at over 30 feet, it was later found to be only a little over 19 feet long, which is still pretty damn impressive. We wouldn't be surprised to learn that such a massive beast had indeed been hunting people for 30 years, as it must have been alive for some time to grow to such incredible lengths. We wouldn't, however, be caught dead wandering through the jungle in search of such a legendary animal, especially if the stories were true and it had developed a taste for human blood. 30 years of hunting obviously wasn't enough to prepare it for the search team that eventually did it in, with locals gathering from all over to take a picture with the croc's body. Its skull is now on display in a museum and gives us a glimpse into the last moments of his victims, which would have been painful and terrifying. We're glad that the team was able to tackle this beast and bring an end to its 30-plus year reign of terror, and we're sure that the locals are even more thankful than we are, considering the fact that they had to live in such close proximity to one of the modern world's most prolific hunters. Number 3. Gustav. If you thought Bujang Senang was worthy of your fear, prepare to meet Gustav, a 6-meter-long terror who lived in Burundi and is probably still alive somewhere, wreaking havoc on whatever settlements he comes across. The fact that we don't actually know what happened to Gustav is quite worrying, considering he's known for killing an estimated 300 people. While this is probably an over-exaggeration, we certainly wouldn't be willing to put his prowess to the test and are happy to consider him a very dangerous beast, regardless of his actual kill count. The Nile crocodile stalked the banks of the Ruzizi River and those along Lake Tanganyika since at least the mid-1990s. Many attempts have been made to capture Gustav, all of them resulting in failure, leading researchers to believe that he's actually quite intelligent, which isn't a trait you'd want attributed to a croc that's been known to attack people with indiscriminate viciousness. His size is estimated to be around 6 meters, but this all comes down to mere speculation, as nobody's captured him or even gotten close enough to measure him properly without becoming lunch. Many researchers think that his massive size was what eventually led him to hunt people, with his usual prey being too quick for him to catch up with. He's been shot multiple times, barely registering the 3 bullet wounds visible on his body, with many more scars visible but unaccounted for. He's definitely a serious scrapper, and we bet he can hold his own against any